Welcome to Bible for Modern Minds podcast.
A 27-year-old woman who was, born into just unimaginable wealth and power in the heart of the Middle East. She described her life in this stunning golden palace as a prison built of gold. And this isn't fiction. This is from the personal account we're diving into today. A story where one very private decision about faith leads directly to a ceremonial knife being held to her neck by her own father.
And what's so compelling about this specific testimony, the source we have, is the sheer weight of who this person is. We're talking about Nadia Rahim. She was known in her family as the Desert Star. She's the only daughter of Hassan Rahim, a state counselor who is, not just wealthy, but deeply respected, often feared, and hugely influential across the entire Arab world.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's really unpack that seismic shift. How does someone go from this meticulously planned life, and that included an arranged marriage, to a man named Karim Alpha, the son of the oil minister, no less, to suddenly, as she puts it, losing everything the world called security, all for a truth she couldn't ignore? This wasn't just a personal choice. It sent shockwaves through one of the region's most powerful families. To really get the scale of her sacrifice, you have to picture the environment she was trying to break free from. The source material describes the Palace of Al-Qadim. We're talking high-security walls, white stone facades, these intricate golden gardens.
It was a world of just immense, almost suffocating privilege. Nadia grew up speaking 5 languages. She was educated at the best schools in Europe.
Right, and constantly traveling. She even flew her first helicopter when she was 19.
And you can see how someone might mistake that kind of external freedom for, real internal liberty.
But that's the core conflict, isn't it? The source really hammers this home.
Absolutely. It's this huge contradiction. Despite all that external perfection, the status, the designer clothes, the power, Nadia felt this profound emptiness inside. She called it a deafening silence, a void.
A void that, lavish banquets and religious study couldn't fill?
Not at all. She was taught to repeat verses from the Quran, but she said the tradition, for her, just left her with more questions. It never touched that core desire for genuine meaning. The family name was more of a weight than a comfort.
And that feeling, that isolation, it finally hits a breaking point. The catalyst, as it often is, happens when she's away from home.
Yeah, while she was studying at Oxford University.
She gets a roommate, Elena, a young Greek woman, and Nadia says Elena was different.
She says Elena was unique because she just wasn't impressed by the Rahim name or the family fortune. She saw Nadia, the person, not the title.
And then comes the breaking point.
The breaking point was, it was dramatic. Nadia gets the official news that the marriage contract to Karim Alpha is finalized.
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. The political machine is in motion, and she realizes that door to the golden prison is about to slam shut. Forever.
So she breaks down.
Completely. And when Elena finds her, instead of offering, simple platitudes, she does something Nadia had never experienced. She prayed.
Just prayed for her.
Exactly. She spoke to Jesus Christ as if he were a living person, like a friend right there in the room.
Wow. That distinction, that must have been absolutely shattering for someone raised in her specific theological world.
It was. Nadia had always been taught that Allah was, yes, majestic, but also distant and untouchable. So this idea of a God who actually draws near, who cares about her personal sorrow, who speaks to an individual, that concept just completely upended her entire worldview. It was the seed for her secret life.
So that revelation basically pushes her into living a double life.
A very dangerous one. To learn more, she starts secretly going to a small Bible study group Elena organized.
In disguise.
In disguise, yeah. Wearing Western clothes, trying her best to just blend in case anyone connected to her family saw her. She describes every teaching as being like water in the desert.
And was there a specific moment, a specific teaching that really broke through for her?
There was. If you're looking for the moment that truth really pierced through all those cultural and political walls, it's a specific verse from the Bible, Isaiah 43:1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine.
You are mine.
She said that phrase, that promise of a personal identity. That's what finally started to fill that deafening silence. It was something that power and money had never, ever been able to touch.
But carrying that truth, especially when she went home, that was a huge risk.
A life-threatening one. When she flew back to Saudi Arabia, she brought a small Bible with her, hidden in a secret compartment in her suitcase.
And you have to understand, being caught with that, That's not a minor infraction. In her world, that is apostasy.
And it carries the gravest penalty. That's right. But this is where the story shifts. It goes from a solitary struggle to a secret community.
Right in the palace.
Right under their noses. She's walking in the gardens one day and hears a melody, a hymn, being hummed by one of the gardeners, a woman named Layla.
And she recognizes it.
She does. And this leads to this incredible connection. Layla reveals that her father was an Ethiopian Coptic Christian who'd been executed for his faith years before.
So Nadia realizes she's not alone.
Not at all. And from there, a secret community starts to form.
It's just incredible to think about. A gardener and the daughter of the state counselor, where did they even meet?
They met in an abandoned greenhouse, and they were smart about it. They met during the times of Islamic prayer when most of the palace staff would be busy.
And who was in this group?
It was this amazing cross-section of the staff, Filipino workers, an Egyptian nurse, even a few Jordanian guards.
Wow.
And they were all led by a man named Ibrahim, who was a former pastor from Jordan, working there in secret.
I mean, the political and social risk for every single person in that room was just immense.
Oh, absolutely. And for some, like Layla, the cost was already a family reality. It was in that greenhouse that Nadia's decision was really sealed. Ibrahim was teaching on the parable, the one about the treasure hidden in a field.
Where the man sells everything he has to buy the field.
Exactly. And Nadia said she realized, for her, selling everything meant giving up her identity as the Desert Star, her security, her family, everything. All for the treasure she'd found.
The confrontation was bound to happen, especially with the wedding getting closer.
It was inevitable, and it finally boiled over during a family breakfast. Her mother, Miriam, was talking about the imam coming for the final spiritual purification sessions before the ceremony.
And Nadia knew this was her moment.
Her only chance. The source says she took a deep breath and just stated very calmly, "I have found Jesus not just as a prophet, but as my Lord and Savior. I can't marry Kareem, and I can't keep letting a lie."
What was the immediate fallout from that? I mean, a statement like that must have been like a bomb going off in that room.
It was first silence, then absolute rage. Her older brother, Yasser, was the first to react. He confined her to her suite immediately, but it escalated quickly from there. They moved her to what the family called the meditation room.
Which was a euphemism, I take it.
A dark one. It was a cold, silent seclusion room in the basement, designed for psychological correction. They kept the lights on 247 to break her resolve.
Her mother, Miriam, visited her, right? Made one last appeal.
She did. And her argument wasn't about love or concern. It was about politics and honor. She begged Nadia to just recant, just for long enough to get the marriage contract secured. Her words were chilling. She said, "You are a Rahim, and that is what matters. Everything else is treasoned."
So identity and stability above all else.
Exactly. It was the ultimate price of that society.
And when Nadia refused that final plea, the sentence was passed. This wasn't just a religious matter anymore.
No, not at all. And this is so crucial for our deep dive. When the daughter of a major state counselor defects, it's not seen as a personal choice.
It's seen as political.
It's seen as an act of political destabilization, a deep humiliation for the family, the regime, the whole religious community. The council that met included her father, all four brothers, guards, and Sheikh Abdullah, the region's most rigid religious leader.
And the charge was apostasy.
Punishable by death, yes, because family honor and regional stability were on the line.
So this leads us to the climax of the story, the ritual execution.
Yes. Her father, Hassan Rahim, he presents the ceremonial knife. It's an ancient family symbol of honor and justice. The tension in the room was, well, you can only imagine. Her father, a man who made life and death decisions for a nation, was trembling. He asks for her final word.
And she refuses to recant.
She quotes Jesus. "Whoever confesses me before men, I will also confess him before my Father who is in heaven." And her father moves forward, pressing that cold blade against her neck.
And this is where the testimony details what can only be described as a supernatural intervention. The room, which was dimly lit, suddenly fills with this otherworldly soft glow.
That's how she describes it. And this glow gets more and more intense, enveloping everyone in the room. She says it wasn't a reflection. It was like light itself had become liquid and was pouring into the space.
And the knife.
The ceremonial knife, pressed against her throat, began to glow bright, incandescent red.
It burned her father's hand.
Yes. The source says he screamed in pain and dropped it. And the sound of it hitting the stone floor just reverberated through the room with this almost spiritual force. Then the light condensed. Nadia described seeing silhouettes, which she identifies as angels.
Okay, hold on. An otherworldly glow, angels, a voice. For anyone listening and analyzing this impartially, how does the source account for this? Is it presented as just her experience, or as an empirical fact witnessed by everyone?
That's the critical question. The testimony presents it as an undisputed empirical event witnessed by everyone in the room. The fact that these powerful men, her father, her brothers, even Sheikh Abdullah, were visibly terrified, screaming, reciting counter prayers, that's offered as the proof that this was a genuine external event, not just something happening in Nadia's mind.
And the voice, what did it say?
It was a deep, firm voice that everyone heard, but not with their ears, directly in their minds.
And the message.
Do not touch my anointed, this daughter is mine. The whole thing lasted maybe 3 or 4 minutes. When the light faded, the silence in that room must have been terrifying.
The political reaction must have been just chaos.
It was a complete cover-up. Nadia's father was stunned. He immediately ordered her moved to a secluded wing of the palace and forbade anyone from ever speaking of it again under threat of expulsion.
So he couldn't go through with it.
He couldn't proceed with the execution, but he couldn't admit what happened either. He was trapped.
And did this event have any tangible effects on the others, or was it purely psychological?
Oh, the effects were tangible. Fidel, one of the Christian guards who was there, later told the secret church that Sheikh Abdullah fell severely ill right after. High fevers, nightmares.
Wow.
And crucially, the execution was officially called off. No one on that council, not even the sheikh, dared challenge what they had physically seen that night. The whole subject just became forbidden.
So even though she was spared, the danger was still there. Exile, a forced marriage. These were still on the table.
Absolutely. But that supernatural event created an ally in the last place she would have expected.
Her brother?
Her younger brother, Yusuf. He was only 23. 2 weeks later, he came to her and initiated the escape plan.
What made him do it?
He confessed to her. He said he just couldn't deny the light he saw that night. And despite the massive political risk to himself and the family, he felt he had to help her. He saw her as his sister again, not just a political problem.
So let's talk about the mechanics of this escape. How does the daughter of the state counselor just vanish from one of the most secure buildings in the world?
It was a high-risk, complex operation. Yusuf handled the bribes. Fidel, the Christian guard, helped guide Nadia through a forgotten service corridor that led to the outer gardens.
And they had a car waiting.
A black sedan from the British embassy, disguised as transport for a cultural event. And as if that wasn't enough, a huge, violent electrical storm hit the region that night, providing the perfect cover.
And she left with nothing.
Nothing. She left all the jewelry, the wealth, the clothes behind. She took her documents, a small locket, and her hidden Bible. She was granted international protection and given a new identity. Sarah Lawrence.
It sounds like a clean break. But the ripple effect of that night didn't stop there, did it? What happened to her family?
No, it didn't. The most incredible transformation happened about 18 months later. Her mother, Miriam, found her in Geneva.
She tracked her down.
She did. And Miriam looked aged, broken by the stress. And she told Nadia that she'd been having these recurring dreams, visions of a man in white calling her name, telling her to come back.
That brings the whole thing full circle.
It really does. In that cafe, Nadia explained that the man was Jesus, and she led her own mother to faith. We also learned that Yusuf, the brother who helped her escape, had given his mother a New Testament to read before she left.
So he's still involved.
He is. 3 years later, Nadia reports that Yusuf is now secretly leading his own small Bible study group, right there inside the palace walls. Miriam has asylum in Switzerland.
And what about her father, Hassan Rahim, the powerful state counselor?
Hassan is publicly maintaining his position, but privately he's secluded. The report suggests he spends most of his days in silence, avoiding any talk of what happened that night. He's clearly just wrestling with the supernatural event he witnessed, unable to reconcile it with the ordered, powerful world he built.
Okay, so let's synthesize this. What does this deep dive into Nadia Rahim's testimony really mean? We've traced this incredible journey from privilege to peril, and it seems to show that even in the most secure, isolated, highly controlled places, palaces, closed regimes, personal truth, once you accept it, can just shatter the walls of tradition, and often through the most unlikely allies.
A roommate, a gardener, a guard.
And a younger brother.
Yeah. I think the key takeaway here is the juxtaposition of the cost of discipleship with the freedom that came from it. For Nadia, it meant losing literally everything: status, wealth, family, culture. But that sacrifice led to what she calls indescribable joy, true freedom. And most importantly, you see the incredible power of a single witness. Her stand created this dramatic ripple effect.
Right. Her mother, her brother.
And the internal collapse of her father, it changed everything.
Nadia made a point in her testimony. She said that her physical palace might be different from yours, but the principle is the same. Your ceremonial dagger, your golden prison, it might be a relationship, a promotion you want, a status symbol you're afraid of losing if you stand firm for what you found to be true. So we'll leave you with this question. What walls or maybe what political structures are you navigating right now? And what is the cost for you of holding on to or letting go of the truth you have found?